Ladies and gentlemen, meet George.
Hi everyone and welcome back to the George Collection. I'm Rachel Rightside Blonde. It's great to be back. I went to Miami and announced a very, very exciting new endeavor that I'm embarking on, and here's a little bit of that speech. The future belongs to these guys. So, introducing Red, White, Blue. And this is a magazine for 7 to 11-year-olds. I would love to at some point get one for high school kids because we need more good options there too. But I'm so elated. This is a passion project. This is a look inside of it. You can stop by my booth and take a peek at it. But I don't know many other children's magazines that would talk about the CIA and American media and Project Mockingbird. I mean, I haven't seen any. I don't think Highlights is putting that stuff in their magazine. A lot of animal stuff and lions and tigers, which is cool. But at the end of that article, the CIA, it asks the question, what would happen if the government had control over its own media? How could that be bad? And it gets the kids to think for themselves. And that's the goal. I don't want to tell the kids what to think. I want just to get them to think, which is a novel concept these days. So this is Red, White, Blue. I'm so excited to share it with you. This is the first time I'm announcing it publicly, so you guys are the first to hear it. I'm happy to be here. Now you can see why it was really frustrating that my computer decided to die right before I was leaving for Miami announcing that, and I'm trying to get my George Collection videos out. So I'm extremely happy to be back at it, and I think it actually works out better because 2 weeks ago when I was going to post the video, it was about the CIA. And it's so interesting because Trump this week announced that we're getting rid of gain of function, and RFK Jr. got up and said this.
Bobby, do you have anything to say? We signed some very important documents having to do with health.
Mr. President, a gain of function, this is an historic day, the end of gain of function research funding by the federal government and also controls by private corporations on gain of function studies. This was the kind of study that was engaged in by the United States military and intelligence agencies beginning in 1947. By 1969, the CIA said that they had reached nuclear equivalency, that they could kill the entire U.S. population for 29 cents a person. In all of the history of gain of function research, we can't point to a single good thing that's come from it. And today, I commend President Trump for his courage and his vision in ending U.S. bioweapons research.
I've talked before about the peculiar words that JFK Jr. used on the cover of his inaugural issue of George, which are President, Kennedy, dodging bullets, a next American Revolution, and FBI. Pretty interesting stuff, but it's also interesting because his second anniversary issue of George is the spy issue, and it talks about secrets and lies of the CIA. That's interesting because he's the son of a slain president and lots of speculation about the CIA being a part of that plan. A few weeks ago, I did a show on the 250 ways to make America better, how I thought it was interesting that we're having a 250-year celebration. He could have picked 100 or 150 or 350, but he picked 250, and it's on the cover of his George magazine book, Ways to Make America Better, which sounds like Make America Great Again. Just some interesting coincidences. But I wanted to share with you this story about abolishing the CIA. Sometimes in the George magazines, it's not what JFK Jr. says or writes, it's what he allows. What he allows in his magazines and what he allows in his books. Take a look at what I found in the 250 Ways to Make America Better. Number 239, one good idea. Abolish the CIA. That is a worthy act in itself, and it would have good side effects. It would remove a body that is unconstitutional. Public money must be accounted for. Immoral, subversive acts in over 36 foreign countries, and destructive. The harm done us has been greater than any done others. The missiles were accepted in Cuba because of CIA plots against Castro. As for side effects, we would call into question the whole cult of secrecy that hides things from Americans that foreigners know. Example, Castro knew we were trying to kill him, only we did not. It would make us assess realistically the intelligence activities we do need, now largely done by the NSA. It would stop the buildup of CIA, quote, assets, who are a rogue force for other governments' dirty tricks, and for our own. Where else would Nixon's men recruit Watergate break-in men, but from the ranks of former CIA operatives? From Gary Wills, professor of history. JFK Jr. did not compile this list of 250 ways to make America better. That was done by Carolyn Mackler. But if you look at the very first way to make America better, it mentions none other than President Kennedy. And it talks about his quote about asking not what your country can do for you, but asking what you can do for your country. So if there's ever any doubt that JFK Jr.'s hand was in this book, there is some pretty clear proof right there. I'll be continuing to look into this book, 250 Ways to Make America Better, as we near the 250-year birthday of America. Of course, for today's show, I had to wear my John Kennedy Splinter the CIA shirt. And if you're interested in buying one for yourself, they're on my website, rightside.blonde.com, in the store. A couple people have asked me where I got it. Now you know. And you can find my brand new children's magazine, Red, White, Blue, also on rightsideblonde.com. Just go to rightsideblonde.com and click Red, White, Blue, and you can subscribe monthly. Or you can buy a single magazine, see how you like it, and then go from there. I want to finish this show by saying thank you to all you loyal followers. I have the best following, I'm convinced, in the world, because you followed me from the very beginning when I was with Tom doing shows and I had no clue what I was doing, to going to different rallies and sharing my memories that I've made there, to starting the George Collection series and doing podcasts with other podcasters, to my time at the New George magazine, and then to now, which is getting up on a stage, terrified, mind you. Hopefully I did a good job masking that. But getting up on stage and announcing a brand new endeavor that I think is lacking in this world. I think we need to focus on the children. That's our next generation. And I'm so excited to be taking a step in the right direction for our next generation. So excited. That does it for this episode of the George Collection. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.
Of this extraordinary magazine, George, which is a hoot of a magazine. I thought you were a lawyer.
I was.
What happened?
Well, we decided, actually taking a cue from folks like yourself and you around the 1992 election, that there was an opportunity here to change the definition of a political magazine. Certainly the way Americans were accessing information about politics and politicians was changing. Candidates were appearing on late night talk shows, on talk radio, on sitcoms, and there was a kind of a leveling process. And while the rest of media clearly had caught up with that, we felt that political magazines per se hadn't.
Your mother was a hell of an editor at Doubleday.
That's what I hear.
Would she have liked George?
I think she would have.